This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
Well. WFO is back. We are back. I am back. And if you're a new listener and you just clicked on this podcast, your good friend said, you got to listen to these guys. It's kind of fun. It's kind of entertaining. We're talking about you. We're talking to you. Yeah, your friend's full of it. It's not true. We're just a couple of guys here in a room, man, hanging out, talking about current events in the world. And you may or may not enjoy it. We can't promise you anything. And there it is. How about that for the real? What's up, Giovanni?
Hey, what's going on, Mr.
Man.
Joe?
All good. Doing our thing, man. Getting together for another early week edition of the Ignition podcast, where we talk a little NASCAR and talk a little Formula One, and talk a little NHRA drag racing, talk a little MLB, a little NBA, a little NFL, a little NCAA, a little whatever.
A little this, a little that, a little in, a little out.
Whatever, what have yous. You see,
but I just want to segue really quick back to, I see you either got
to segue back? We haven't even started. How can you segue back?
Well, you just mentioned something that you can't guarantee about the new listener or the first-time listener.
Remember when I used to covet them and I used to coddle them? Like, hello, person, take my hand and I will guide you along on a journey that you will enjoy. And now I'm like, whatever, man.
Hey, new listener, I can guarantee this. You may not like it, but we're going to have fun and it's going to be entertaining.
And you better learn to love it, because it's the best thing going today. Woo!
There you go.
That reference should keep you around for 40 minutes. Just that. Now, the podcast thing is, Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and TuneIn and all these different things. There are people that do surf and try new podcasts. They do. I know I do. And every 8 months, coming up in August or something, I'll be alone and lonely on a night, and I'll be I'll have, I don't know I don't want to say anything right now. I will be awake for reasons, and I will be bored, and I will go into the podcast zone. And it usually happens around International Podcast Day each year, where I start feeling like we're failing. We're behind. Oh, what is the new technology in the podcast universe? I got to catch up, and I'll go hardcore research on the latest, greatest podcast stuff. One of the things is we used SoundCloud for our hosting, and SoundCloud is very convenient and great, but I've been reading a lot of people don't love the SoundCloud, because they don't give you as many options for which, segment you want to be in, or you want to be in this, you want to be in that, et cetera, and so on. It doesn't characterize or categorize your podcast as good as some of the others, et cetera, and so on. I don't know. I love it. I think it has been great for us. But maybe not. It's just like anything, right? You got to keep up with the technology. And there are things that you're supposed to do, like ask your listeners to subscribe and write a review.
That's right.
Ask your listeners to subscribe and write a review over and over and over. And we have. And we're up to 67 reviews. But it is not, now that we're on this subject, it is not beyond the realm of possibility that we might have to start a new feed someday and get everybody to subscribe to that new feed. And part of me is thinking that might actually be a beneficial move. The new WFO radio at some point in the future. Whatever, we'll discuss. But whenever I do that late night podcast test experience, and I know Brian Spink has got podcasts he's sending me all the time, and Race Guitar, when he's not blowing up the engine in his truck, he is sending me podcasts to listen to. And I want to listen to them. I just, and I do, but what I really like to do is just kind of surf and find something interesting. And I do that every once in a while. And so I can only assume that there are people that do that also. And maybe they found WFO, and I consider them, and I think, hey, come on in and check it out. Now, last week on the show, and of course we're going to talk NASCAR, Denny Hamlin, Texas, Formula One, agony. I mean, Lewis Hamilton. Big win by Lewis. Lewis is the greatest. He wins everything. He's unbelievable. But this was a total debacle for Ferrari, is what it was. It's total debacle for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc, or Leclerc, depending on how we're going to say it, was running away. And something went wrong with the vehicle. Vettel gets in a dust-up with Lewis. They're battling on track. Oh, this is exciting. This is what we paid to see. I could watch this for 10 laps, right? Wrong. Vettel spins out. Another unforced error. So, yeah, in Ferrari land, we're upset. Haas F1, terrible race. Terrible race. And what can you say? Terrible race. We are the kind of Haas F1 fans that get upset when they have a terrible race. And this was no bueno. So we're going to get into all of that. We'll talk about it. But some other things did happen.
No, it was Mierda, if you really want to get it.
It was Mierda. It was. But we went to opening day baseball last week. We had a really good, I had a great week. Great weekend. The spring break.
Oh, yeah, much better today. You're not going to get me to curse this week.
I did. I got you to curse. Kind of interesting. I saw the listener numbers. I didn't see anybody. Did you cut that out?
No, I did. Oh, I mean,
I think you did. Nobody
did, but
it's good to ziz it. But I
left the whole part in there. I didn't, You were, poking the bear.
I was expecting somebody to, alert us, you left Gio cursing in there, but we bleeped it.
No, I mean.
Figured that would have been entertaining.
I think if you had actually left me saying whatever it is I said, then perhaps someone would have called in or communicated. I think since we did it appropriately, no one called to yell at the inappropriate co-host or whatever I am over here on this side of the table.
Whatever you are. I don't know. It was interesting. But we had fun last week, which is our prime directive on the show, to have a good time. But we also talked about the South Florida perspective of the, what would I call it, the new 2020 NASCAR schedule.
We did.
And there were a couple of, I got an email from our great friend, Phil, the WFO Insider. And he actually, I may not be able to bring it up right now for whatever reason.
Of course not.
Well, no, the reason I can't bring it up is because Phil is emailing in from a different email address, and I don't know where I got it. Was it on Twitter? Was it on a text? What the hell was it going on?
Is it in my pocket? Is it on my watch? I mean, is it on my phone? You have too many devices now.
I'm glad you brought this up.
First world problems.
True. It's so true. I have too many different places to check. Was it a direct message on Twitter? Was it someone sending me a direct message on Instagram? Was it on Facebook? Was it on Thing? No, here it is. It was a text. I'll tell you. It was an old school text. Can I read you the text?
Yeah, before I derail
Write down your little note. Okay. But our great friend, Phil D., who is the WFO Insider, helped us launch WFO, and doesn't we gotta stay connected with Phil D as best as we can. He listens to the podcast, or
it's not our fault. He left South Florida.
He did. He left us, Phil. But listen to what he said about our take, because our take is the most relevant.
He knows the market just as much as we do.
Former PR director at Homestead Miami Speedway.
So I would love to.
He
hear
and I
what
bled.
Phil has
we bled blood to do this. Phil DeMontmallon told wonderful stories about, be at 2 a.m, he's taking a shower, and, Curtis would call him with an idea, and he'd have to go down to the track. It was hard work building whatever it is that we have now. Okay? Hey, buddy, listen to you and Gio talk Homestead NASCAR schedule. Couldn't agree more with your take. And the reason I'm reading this right at the top of the show is that we missed something. And I want to get right back on it immediately. Ahead of Denny Hamlin winning the race, and how Texas was good and Formula One was a debacle for Ferrari fans, and the fact that we had a great time at Marlins Park. And Derek Jeter is God. Okay? Beyond that. A God.
A God.
A God.
I don't know
not
if he's the God.
He's not the God. He's an A God.
But he's definitely one of the sports gods.
Like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. Hey, buddy, listen to you and Geo Talk Homestead NASCAR schedule. Couldn't agree more with your take. That March date is going to be very difficult. I kind of understand why ISE NASCAR Jim France did it, however. Why not move Homestead to the week right after the Daytona 500? That slot, I believe, would have given Homestead at least a chance by riding the media coverage and overall buzz of the 500. In effect, you could extend speed weeks one more week by bringing the circus to South Florida. You could do a big media tour with the 500 champ in Miami, etc. Plus, the weather is even better in February, and you aren't going against tennis, ultra, Marlins opener, etc. in March. Anyway, my 2 cents, hope all is well, says Phil. And you know what? Quick take. Yes, love it. Love
Absolutely.
it. Come right south. The Daytona 500 and then Homestead Miami Speedway, the Florida Swing, you just come south. Are they really pulling that many people from South Florida to the Daytona 500? Maybe. And those people, wouldn't they want to go see the back-to-back races? It's 3 hours away, for those that don't know. It's 3 hours. So it's like going Vegas to California, which I think they have done in the past. At least in the words that matter. Remember, this is someone who worked in our market and literally bled blood, for this. I can't come up with anything like, he didn't die for the sport. And, he didn't sacrifice an animal for the sport. But he definitely did all a human can do when it comes to working to grow something that is not owned by him. Right?
It's 290 miles from Homestead to Daytona Beach, so
I
maybe
believe
a little bit more than 3 hours.
Would have at least given HMS a chance by riding the media coverage and overall buzz of the 500. In effect, you could extend speed weeks. I think that would have been a great idea. I wondered, did they consider that? And I also thought about asking Matt Beecher, current president of Homestead Miami Speedway, on the show to talk about it. I thought, yeah, this could happen very easily. This is one of those times. Is that a good idea? What, I'm going to put poor Matt in a situation to defend the indefensible? Hey, Matt, I would like you to be on WFO to give us your spin of a negative situation.
Well,
what is
right,
that?
Well, the issue is that
this is the great. We actually we're hoping for this March date. This is the best thing that could have happened for us. That last race, everybody's exhausted and tired. Nobody wants to see each other. At least now, everybody will be kind and friendly to each other because they'll all be energized. It'll still be the first third of the season. We've been planning for this for years. We've actually been working with our partners to ensure that we got this race. The final race, nobody wants that one. Phoenix will soon find out.
As a matter of fact, I've been working on a transfer out of Homestead. Get the hell out of here as fast as I can now that I found out.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'll let you know. I'll put in a good word with you with the new PR, with the new track president.
Exactly. No, I don't think so. And Matt's a great guy. The people down there are fantastic. But my point is, I didn't even want to do it.
No, what is he going to come on and try to, put on the track happy note of we just got screwed by IMS, but since they benefited a few of their other tracks,
right? They
don't really care about us.
Only a negative for Homestead. It's only a negative for Homestead. That's
true.
it. And Homestead just benefited for 19 years. So, all right, let's see. Let's see what happens.
Look, ISC owns the track, so at some point when they see what happens with the numbers, or maybe we're wrong again, maybe
That's
the three of us
possible.
are completely misreading the South Florida situation.
Totally.
Audience.
We're not
fan.
We've misread situations in the past, and we're leaving that open to interpretation.
But anyway, that is it is what it is.
So they say. So anyway, Phil D, if you're out there 2 weeks in a row, thank you for all you did and all you've done.
We love you, Phil.
Yeah, man. And I'm coming up there for ZMAX, like I've been trying to get Phil to come out to ZMAX for the 4-wide Nationals, which I'm headed to. I'm going to Jacksonville tomorrow, and I am headed to. Where am I going?
Vegas, man. Vegas, baby. Vegas.
Vegas on Wednesday. I'm going to be in Vegas on Wednesday.
Come on, it's
for
like
the Denso 4-wide
we're
Nationals.
3-4 races in. You're going to play off like you're already.
This is the fourth race.
Yeah, and you don't even know where you're going already?
You know
Come
what?
on.
Listen.
Come on.
You're not being fair to me right now.
I think that maybe, if it was July. But, I mean, we're 4 races in. This is the second month of work.
Yeah, except for one thing, man. Except for one thing. I hate to do this to you.
No, look, let's not get into it.
No, you can't do that. Like, start something and say, let's not get into it. That's a Gio thing. Like, hey, I'm going to bring something up, and then say, let's not get into it. 17 segments already, bro. 17 segments.
Over 4 trips.
17
over
segments.
4.
It's not
over
4 trips. How many times have I
4.
gone to Johnson City, Tennessee for Performance TV? From here to there, Arizona, this one, that one, the other place, back and forth. Back to my original point. 17 segments. I've already flown 2,200 miles. No, I've already flown 14,400 miles. This is preposterous. So there you go. That's why I don't know where I'm going or where I've been.
I'm going to have to text Reinhardt in here.
17
Find
segments.
out how many segments and miles he's already generated.
I bet you he's got more.
Oh, okay. I just
and
wanted
loans, too. Just what you're going right to the top.
Well,
right?
you know, I mean.
There's a lot of people I'm beating, too.
Who cares about those people?
Right, exactly. Like, you go to the most traveled person. Like, let's go. What's Elephant Racers got?
Yeah, come on.
How many segments,
I'm
Dan?
texting Dan right
Text
here.
him.
Dan, please send screenshot of your
segments. Segments and miles. No, I want to know where I stand. I haven't been like, the travel schedule is about to ramp up a lot more. So, but it is April Fool's Day, folks. You are not going to get an April Fool's joke out of us, I don't think. We are not doing it. I am against April Fool's jokes generally.
We're not that kind of people.
I don't like the whole thing. Like, the fact that today is even April Fool's Day is just a timestamp for the show. If you're listening later in the week, don't worry. It's still fresh and exciting. Don't get upset. But April Fool's Day, the whole concept. I got so mad at Jerry Archambault at one time. I'm on XM. I'm taking things very seriously. Did the Heat just win?
I don't think so. I think they just lost.
Well, then why is everyone going crazy for Wade? Like, this is
because it's the farewell thing.
It's the farewell thing, I guess.
Everybody goes crazy for Wade everywhere he goes.
Yeah, they lost. They lost 110 to 105.
All these Heat fans and D. Wade fans, and the guy stands there half an hour after every game signing all the autographs and taking pictures and
one
being
of the
a good sport about
Speaking of sports gods.
Definitely a local one.
He's good, man. He's good. He's got a bunch of titles.
There was a little period there where he was
the best player
arguably
in the
the best
NBA.
player in the world.
Definitely. When he was Flash.
2009, 2010, right after that Olympic Games, right before Braun had really come into his prime. That year that Kobe got D. Wade's MVP.
Yes. Yeah, that was very, very...
D. Wade was the best player in the world at that point. He LeBron wasn't quite where he ended up, and D. Wade was in his prime. But the way he played also was not conducive to aging well because he played hard and always driving to the hole and getting fouled and knocked down. Remember all his commercials. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up.
The way he played was very
intense. He played hard.
Very intense thing. But so anyway, back to April Fool's. It's just that I was doing a thing on whatever, NHRA did an April Fool's joke that was kind of reasonable. You know what I mean? Like an April Fool's joke. I totally did. Fell for it on the air. And I read it on the air, and it turned out to be an April Fool's joke, and it was wrong. And I was totally humiliated and embarrassed, right? And I called the vice president of communications, and I told him, I was like, I fell for this, and I admit it, and I acknowledge it. But this is kind of I forget what the story was, is that they were going to go somewhere. It sounded like a real story. It wasn't an April Fool's joke. It was a legit sounding story that was just not true. It was something that made you excited, like, wow, that would be really cool. I wish they would do that. Oh, no, they're not doing that. Like NHRA
is going one of those that you wanted it to happen.
NHRA is going to raise the purse to, $65,000. It's like, well, that sounds right. Let's do that. No, just April Fools. And I was freaking furious, man. Furious.
As you should be.
Boiled over. Here I am, and I laid into everybody. It's amazing that I get to work there now, right? I laid into everybody.
Well, they were afraid of you when you were on
I'm still
XM,
pissed
remember?
right now, in fact. I'm feeling the anger coming back. Wait a second.
I see. If you guys can see him, he's actually turning shades of hues of red and pink.
Well, here I am, not affiliated in any way, and I am working against my best interest to talk NHRA drag racing on XM Satellite Radio. Going against my best interest. Everybody's talking about NASCAR. They just lost NASCAR. I'm trying to make a pitch to vice presidents and executives about NHRA and how drag racing is a great thing. It's got a lot of fans and it's up and coming. And there's, I'm doing PowerPoint presentations for these people at this point. Busting my butt for drag racing because I love the sport and I relate to it and I get the people at this is at the time 2007, 2006, 2007, when XM Sports Nation was the thing. After NASCAR radio had died because they let it go to Sirius.
It died?
Which we never talk about that. There's countless just stories of aggravation and anxiety that come out of that period. The losing NASCAR radio, the launching XM Sports Nation, the amazing potential that they had, and then they just let it die. And they handed over the reins to another company that blew out everybody. It was insane.
Yeah.
But that is another story for another day. So I'm doing all of this, and then I go on the air, and all these people are minding their own business, and you got me, you got me. Guess what I just did? I just informed everybody that's listening, and I'm wrong. It's a lie. I just told a whole bunch of people who are innocent victims now, because you got me, and I got them, and now they've changed the channel, and they've got misinformation, and they're wrong. And that's why I've always hated April Fool's Day, because what's the point? I'm using my media outlet that people trust and rely upon to lie to people and send them about their ways.
Well, to believe a lie and...
Well, it's supposed to be something that's silly, I think, a little silly. Or in person. I just don't like...
something unbelievable.
Or something unbelievable. And you know what? Now that we're mostly through this April Fool's Day, I can tell you that I have experienced, I didn't even really recall until you just brought it up, until it came up on the show kind of organically. I have had no experiences with any April Fool's jokes, for the most part.
Like to be joked?
To be joked, to read a joke, to hear about a joke, to have anybody talk about it. And I think maybe April Fool's Day is dying. And I think I am very happy about that, and I would love.
I heard one of today. I'll tell you the one that I heard.
What?
Well, apparently someone joined Twitter today, and they actually did. This part's true.
Okay.
Tom Brady joined Twitter today.
Tom Brady joined Twitter today.
And he tweeted out, "I'm retiring," and then like an hour later, he said, "Is that a bad April Fool's joke?" or something to that extent.
So Tom Brady goes on Twitter and announces that he's retiring, but it's an April Fool's joke. Okay. You know what? What do I think of that? I guess if you're Tom Brady, I bet it's pretty fun to do that.
I'm retiring.
It's fun.
And in my spare time, I'll be tweeting. And then an hour later, he put, "Was this a bad joke?" ? And that was it. I guess that was his introduction to Twitter.
F you, Tom. Tom Terrific. Tom Terrific can do anything, and it's okay.
Speaking of football gods.
Yeah. Speaking of sports gods. Right. Exactly.
I think these guys are just aliens. I really do.
Well, isn't that what this guy was saying? That whole crazy conspiracy theory that I was telling you about a couple of months ago? Remember that? That's what he's saying. He's saying that they're just aliens. That there's a whole bunch of aliens that are just interbred with humanity. And that they're special, future people. And so whenever you see somebody that's amazing and you don't know why, it's because they're an alien.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does. There's a lot of people that you think, Derek Jeter, alien. Tiger Woods, alien. A lot of people.
Dude, people just yell at that man. "We love you, Derek." Over there, a guy can't even do an interview, man.
So.
But I think that's the thing about Yankee fans that guys like Derek love and appreciate.
Maybe, or maybe not. In this example that you just bring up out of nowhere. We did
It could be also why people hate the Yankee fans.
Yeah, we encountered Derek at Marlins Park. We'll talk opening day in a little bit. I had a good time, but let's get into our results from the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. And first of all, I got to watch the whole Sunday of racing. The whole Sunday of racing, starting out with Formula 1 at 11 a.m., and I just transitioned and I watched everything that I could watch. And I enjoyed it. It was just, I felt so useless. It was great. And that's the challenge. Everybody complains about viewership and attendance. if you really want to be truthful about it, it's a miracle we've got as many people watching as we do and attending as we do, because there's so many responsibilities in life. I felt worthless at the end of the day that I had spent, let's call it, 7 hours in front of the television. 7 hours and change. Watching Formula One, watching the Cup race. Like, I felt guilty. I had wasted so much time. I could have been out detailing my car. I could have been organizing the studio. I could have been rewiring. You don't get the point. You get the point. There's 1,000 things that I just blew it off to sit and veg watching Formula One and NASCAR. And I loved it. It was fun. Both races were very entertaining. Texas was entertaining. There was some battling. Jimmy Johnson led the whole first segment. But there's a draft working. The cars appeared fast. Not wide open, though, but fast. So Kyle Busch picks up the win. No, what am I looking at here? What did you send me? What am I looking at? Did I click the wrong thing? No, this is my fault, what I did. I brought up the standings by mistake and clicked on it. It's like, darn you, Gio. April Fools. Denny
I
Hamlin.
got you, didn't I?
You got me. No, that's me. I was
And
totally
I'm not even
my
going to
mistake.
say what I was thinking.
My mistake. Denny Hamlin gets the win, comes back from 2 pit road penalties. And Denny Hamlin goes on to get his second victory of the season now. And he's
That's
like,
right.
uh-oh, maybe this is Denny Hamlin's season now. Denny Hamlin, like who is the greatest active driver to never win a championship? Maybe it's Denny Hamlin.
It is Denny Hamlin.
There it is. And so maybe he's
Right,
on a
I mean,
mission this year.
As far as I can tell, it's Denny Hamlin.
And seeing Denny in his winner's circle interview with the crow's feet and the look of age made me feel really sad.
He's not that old.
No, man, he's aging. You could see the youth is gone, and he's starting to
He's being broken down by the...
worn down by the life.
Yeah. Well, how old is this kid? I'll let you know.
How many segments does he have?
He's only 38, by the way.
I know, but you could see it. You could see it. Oh, it's the worst. All you kids out there, it's the worst.
Don't get old.
Don't do it.
Live young, die hard.
No,
Die young.
don't do
Live
that.
hard, die young.
No, we need you. We
Leave a
need you.
good-looking corpse.
Keep working and paying into that Social Security, please. Please. What?
No.
Don't. They can't check out, Gio.
All right.
The whole system
That's
will
fine.
collapse. What are we going to do? What are you going to do when you're 85? You're not going to have any money. You're going to be eating cat food.
Dude, my son will take care of me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what his wife says about that.
I don't care about her.
Yeah.
I'll have her axed.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to put your dad in a home. You got to put him in a home. He's so abrasive the way he speaks.
Oh, and can you imagine when I'm old and I reach that I don't care age?
Oh, my God.
You know, like the old folks that they just say stuff because they don't care anymore. Like, really, I'm 85 years old. What are they going to say to me?
Like I said, kids, keep working, keep paying into that Social Security. Please. Denny Hamlin gets the win. Clint Boyer second. Daniel Suarez third. I had Suarez on my team. I thought I had a good team. I don't know what the heck happened. But let's hear from Denny Hamlin after his second win of the year and the second biggest win of the year for him.
We ran out of fuel. I know, it's amazing.
It was
we ran out of
very
fuel
rough
early in
day.
the race. I passed pit road and we ran out. That cost us, I don't know, 6, 7. It was a lot. It seemed like a lot. I lost the straightaway to everybody else.
327 cars by my count, but maybe
and then,
not.
and then I tried to come to pit road hot, and I about spun out, and I had to let off the brake to keep from spinning out, and then I knew I wasn't going to make pit road, so I had to check up and then lose another 4 or 5 seconds under another green flag sequence, and then I was just beating my head against the steering wheel thinking, man, we're going to finish bad with a really fast car, and we just kept digging, and Chris kept doing a good job at encouraging us that we had a long way to go, and we kept passing cars, and I think at some point we passed everyone for sure. But once we got the clean air in the front, the 20 pulled off for his pit stop. It allowed me to be more aggressive with the way I was driving, and then we made a really good adjustment there at the end that got our car better. So really the only time our car kind of struggled handling-wise was when we were in that pack of 3 with our teammates. And had we had the balance we had earlier in the day, I felt like we could have probably got around them. But certainly we were we had a great car all day, just a bunch of hiccups in the middle of it, and we just we're fast enough to overcome everything that kind of got thrown at us.
There it is, big win by Denny Hamlin. Yeah, but that made it interesting. He kept coming, and he ended up getting up there, and he took the win, and beat Clint Boyer heads up on those green flag pit stops. And that's where race car drivers, that was a Michael Schumacher thing. The in-lap, the out-lap, and on pit road. Like, what happened there? And they did that whole ghost car simulation, which I thought was really nice, and showed it. There it was, how Denny Hamlin beat Clint Boyer and won the race. But Clint Boyer, solid performance, second. Daniel Suarez, third. Eric Jones, fourth. Jimmy Johnson, fifth. Good run for Jimmy. Jimmy is not all washed up. But they were talking about Jimmy like he was all washed up. And I don't like that. I think it's tied to my same thing with all you kids out there, keep paying your Social Security. The fear of getting old and withering. Like watching the picking of the flesh of the old superstar. No matter how great you are, they just want to run you out.
That's it.
It's that.
The young lion.
That's it. I like the Ally car. It looks good. William Lord Byron, 6th, 7th.
It does
Eric
that purple.
Whatever.
Is that what it is, right? Purplish kind of mauve or whatever.
Black with...
No, the colors.
I would call that purplish pink.
There you go.
Pinky purple. I believe it is called... there's 2 different names. There's Teletubby, and there's also Grimace. I think it's called Grimace. William Lord Byron, 6th. Eric Almirola, 7th. Kevin Harvick, 8th. Kurt Busch, 9th. Kyle Busch, 10th. Kyle Busch won the truck race, won the Xfinity race, padded his totals, and in the Cup race, they're having a discussion about fatigue, and they're talking about how Kyle is, listen, Darrell Waltrip, I don't care who you are, if you go out there and you run all these races, there's going to be a point of physical and mental fatigue. And they made that point, and 5 minutes later, he's in the wall. And they go down and they interview him, and I am dying for the reporter to ask, Kyle, you ran 200 laps in the Camping World in the Gander Mountain truck race. You went this many laps in the Xfinity race, and you just drove it into the wall and made a mistake. Were you fatigued? Now I know what Kyle would have attacked the person and ripped them to shreds. But I think the question had to be asked.
He would have grabbed them by the hard cart and be like, who are you? Let me see this.
You could have blamed it on Darrell Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip just said in the booth that their fatigue has got to be a factor. Was fatigue a factor in your crash? Like Darrell Waltrip says. But I wonder.
Could be.
I wonder.
Could be.
Well, where does that factor into this amazing stat package that we're talking about? Like races that he didn't win because he won the other races.
Well, that's why he doesn't have as many wins in Cup as he does in all these other races.
Can we assume that he would have crashed had he not run, say, the truck race? Like, would all things be the same?
Well, no. Obviously, the space-time continuum, the road not taken, and so forth, everything would be different. But the argument can be made that he is definitely tired and fatigued when he's racing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This has been proven with the what's on the TV right now that we just got through watching, the NBA in particular, and that is why they have rearranged their schedule to cut back on the amount of back-to-back games. It is clear that, and the data suggests, and they have it, I don't have the numbers, but that the players are not performing to their peak on the second game of back-to-back or the third and fourth nights. So therefore, they have now tried to cut the 3 and 4 nights, I believe, is out as much as possible, and they've cut back-to-backs as much as possible in the NBA, which is why the season started a little bit earlier, and the schedule has been a little off. If you notice, this was the first year that it goes in full swing, but it is. I'm not making stuff up. I normally sometimes will make stuff up, but this one's actually, it's a fact. It's out there. I like to read. And the NBA, that is the reason why they shifted the schedule, because the data says that the players are not at their peak performance in the second game of back-to-back.
All right, so
we're talking about this guy is now running 3 races back-to-back-to-back.
Okay, well, some would
now,
say
they're not all
at
the same length, of course.
The physicality involved in driving a race car is very different than the physicality of the running and jumping. But there is definitely physicality involved. So what is the case we're making here? Because this is, again, it's attack. It's an unfair attack on Kyle Busch.
It's not an attack.
But
it's not beyond the possibility of belief that he could be burning the candle a little too much. That's just it. Like on a weekend like this, where he's racing Friday night, Saturday night, or Friday night, Saturday day, and Sunday day.
Well, what's the argument that the argument that would be made in support of Kyle Busch, that he is impervious to fatigue, right? He doesn't get tired. He doesn't. His mental focus and concentration abilities are so beyond all of his peers that Jeff Gordon said, "Yeah, man, I couldn't be doing." And Darrell Waltrip said, "No, we can't do that." And they're making a case. They're all making a case that fatigue is a factor. That when Kyle goes out there and drives into the wall in the third race of a long weekend in the closing laps, the argument is that no, it's not fatigue. He was still sharp as a tack. The greatness that we come to expect in the first lap of Kyle, he still maintained that absolutely, and it was just, the car was handling poorly, or sometimes you crash. There it is. That is the statement from the Kyle Busch support side of the debate, which I take that as a possibility. And he certainly didn't come out of the car and say, "Yeah, man, you know what? I'm mentally worn out after all these races. And here in the closing laps of the final race of the final deal, I misjudged something by 6 inches," which is what he did. He just, something drove him the line a little bit. The car pushed, handling problem, who knows? But if you're going to go crazy making the case that the 200 win number is somehow putting him with Richard Petty and all these different circumstances, et cetera, and so on, then I think it is only fair to make the case that this could have been a victory won, but was lost because of those other 2 wins. Sacrificing the third win for the first 2 wins. Sacrificing a cup win for an Xfinity and a truck win. How many times has that happened? That's a good point. Giovanni, please look up how many times Kyle Busch crashed after winning the truck and Xfinity race.
Oh, sure. Coming right up.
The win. That number's out there, right? We can figure that out.
Theoretically speaking, yes.
But we're not going to do it. We are not going to do it. All right, back to the results. Because I want to send out an open phones text. We haven't done that for a while.
Oh, okay.
I think we should do it. I think you can go ahead and send a push. The pushes are going out twice. And I don't really know or understand why that is. And I've got the guys at App Burst on the case. So please advise. We apologize. I have no idea why it's going out. It's not us. It's just going out twice. So Kyle Busch 10th, Ryan Newman 11th, 12th, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott 13th, Austin Dillon 14th, Michael McDowell 15th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 16th, Joey Logano 17th, Bowman the Showman 18th, Paul Menard 19th, Chris Buescher 20th, followed by Ty Dillon, Ryan Preece, Bubba Wallace, Matt Tifft, David Reagan, Matt DiBenedetto, Parker Kligerman, Corey LaJoie, Ross Chastain, Landon Castle, B.J. McLeod, Garrett Smithley. Garrett Smithley, man, this guy. 32nd. Daniel Hemrick, Reed Sorensen, Bailey Curry, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Timmy Hill, and Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, I believe, is what did in my fantasy team. I got to have to check and see. But those are the final results from Texas Motor Speedway, a race that I deemed entertaining. I found it to be entertaining. What about you, Gio? Did you find it entertaining?
I did. I was highly entertained.
Yeah, me too. But now let me tell you about the people who make WFO Radio possible real quick. They have done a great job over the years, and I appreciate them greatly. Like the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, samtech.edu. Start your education at full speed. For the young people out there, we were talking about paying your Social Security. A great way for you to do that is to have a job. And a great job is an automotive machinist or an engine builder, a CNC machinist. And so if you go to Samtech, it'll complete the circuit. You'll be helping a bunch of old people like me and Giovanni.
And save your money, and you won't need to depend on anybody or the Social Security. You could just pocket that extra money for all the extra goodies, like fish food ice cream.
What are you talking about? That's not possible. Yeah, like what if there was no Social Security, and you just knew right now, there's nothing, and you might live to 100. You might live to 105, and there's nothing.
Well, I would stop paying some of the other bills.
I would definitely stop paying something.
That was quick.
Yeah. WFO, who's out there on the wide open line?
WFO, fellas.
Hey,
it's
Low, the Fantasy League champion.
Defending champion.
Defending champion.
Current.
Champion.
Still.
Reigning champion. There you go.
Still champion until somebody knocks me off.
That's it, all year long.
Is true.
You are the champ. And I'll do the spots.
Just like the Red Sox.
You're breaking up there a little bit, but the spots, we can wait. We got Low on the line. I might as well do the Fantasy League standings.
Oh.
Right? We might as well check in on the Fantasy League standings.
Well, you could have just quickly gone through everybody else. Low could wait a minute.
All right, Low, you're going to pause while I...
because this could go on for another hour.
Yes, that's true, Low. We haven't heard from Low in a while. I don't know why I didn't see him at the drag races, and I want to know a bunch of stuff from Low. We got to catch up with Low. A whole bunch of people are going to end up calling. What is this? There is a new little icon on here. I wonder if can I bring on another caller at the same time? That's what I've been hoping for, to get back to that.
You could do it on the phone.
Rodak's CoffeeandGrills.com, Marvin Rodak, hot sauces and spice rub, everything good. But get this, Marvin Rodak is going to be on NHRA Nitro this week because this past weekend he was crew on an alcohol funny car at Funny Car Chaos. And so we're going to get Marvin's story about how he was on a crew and what happened to them in eliminations. And we're going to talk coffee with Marvin. It's going to be great stuff. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. If you want to drive a dragster, do it at Frank Hawley's. Also, CatSpotLitter.com and Magic Dry. Scott Palmer, big supporter of the show, CatSpotLitter.com and MagicDry.us. If you got a shop, a factory, an oil rig, then you want to get Magic Dry. If you've got a cat or a kitten or a litter of kittens, you're going to want to get CatSpotLitter.com. Check them out. All kinds of good stuff. Also, motorsportsguys.com. Big supporters of the show. Terry McMillan and the team at Motorsports Guys. It's mail order parts and pieces, folks. You need an oil change, Amalie motor oil, K&N air filter, oil filter, whatever you're looking for, they've got it. Motorsportsguys.com supporters. Audible.com/WFO Nitro and Hanks DeFurs Metalworking Lubricants helping us out big time here on WFO. These are the sponsors. And the Patreons, who got a special show today. It was like a blast from the past into the Neil Rogers sound effects deal. And I asked them, I started to do a Patreon, and I had just eaten, and a big, belch came out. And I had gotten 2 minutes into the show. And I was like, oh, man, I really wanted to just let it hang there and just say, excuse me. But now I started over, and I did the whole thing. But I made it about whether or not the Patreons will excuse me for doing that in the future. Because you remember, Neil used to always, a burp on the air was, part of the show.
Yep.
Part of the show. But anyway, the Patreons are as much a sponsor as anybody else here on WFO. Patreon.com/WFO radio. All right, Lo, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you guys doing?
How are the kids? How is the fam? What's the deal? Did you guys go out?
Good.
Did you guys go to the NASCAR race? What races did you go to that were in Arizona?
Just went to the November race this past year. Didn't go to the spring race at all. And I sent you pictures about the weather leading up to the Arizona Nationals, though. That's partially the reason why we couldn't go.
Well, that was probably a good decision. Now that you're mentioning that, I kind of remember that communication. It was a tough deal. It was cold. It was
snowing. We got a whopping 4 inches of snow.
That sucks.
Down there in Tucson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went down. I got to actually experience the city of the town of Marana. Is it Marana?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was down there for a few hours on the Monday after the race.
You were closer to Rudy's house.
Oh, yeah? It's really nice.
Yep. It is. It sounded like fun doing those little trails out there. That sounds like a good time.
It was the first, it was a new experience for me. So, yeah, like I could imagine, like I was there with like family members and we had a good time and it was cool. But I would imagine like you get a bunch of, like a crew of people with a couple of those things and you throw some coolers in the back and you bring your music and you're out there. Like, wow, that would be great until you step on a rattlesnake and it bites you. But other than that.
Or the jumping choya.
What is that? The cactus that hit me?
Yeah.
What did you call it?
Well, the jumping choya, like the cactus, the jumping choya cactus. They call it jumping cactus, but it's choya.
Choya. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That stuff was no joke. It was all over me, and it wouldn't let go. No, the next day, 2 days later, I found some, whatever they are, needles still in me.
Yeah, they I swear they stick around. You think you get them all, and it's like, you look at your arm or wherever that you think you got it, and a day or two later you rub that little spot and you feel that pain, that little poke.
Yeah, well, it's hooked in there. It's got like a fish hook on the end. Now, crazy stuff. So there you go. All right, you ready for Fantasy League results? And feel free to just chime in with whatever you got. Like, was there a specific subject that you wanted to bring up on this phone call?
No, I'm still recovering from the championship hangover. I'm spinning my wheels, trying to work my way up the leaderboard.
Well, you're going to find out that this is the reason Rich York gets so much love on the show, because he did win 4 times, which is just stunning. Like, I don't know how he did that. He won 4 times. Now, you have had some good years, and you could have won 4 times. And Gio has had some good years and could have won 4 times, but you've only won once, and he's won 0. It's just hard to pull it out at the end. Yeah, there it is. Take that.
It is, isn't it?
It is. Okay, so the weekly winner following...
Really?
Please just let me move on. The O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. The weekly winner, guys, DRT Girl, Dirt Girl, had Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson and Michael McDowell and scored 352 points. Second place, Marvin Rodak, 826 guy, 345 points. He's going to be on NHRA Nitro. He's coming in second in the fantasy. Like, my goodness, this guy's having a banner week. He's a crew guy at Funny Car Chaos, Marvin Rodak. Car 24 fan is third. Derail 100, fourth. Southern Racer X, fifth. Patrick the Webmaster having an unbelievable year. He's got time on his hands. 335, Patrick the Webmaster. Tennessee Moneyman, 333. Dirt Girl 2, 333. Hockey Kid, 331. Black Ice, 331. Driving Hard, 327. Moonchild, 326. There you go. Moonchild, she's actually, or he or she or it is alive, and they actually put a message out on the when the league first opened. No way. So, saying what? Yeah, I was like, yeah, exactly. That was my reaction. No way, they're alive. It's. I think Moonchild is a she. And she needs to call in. Yeah, no, I know. I'm calling her out. Yeah, Moonchild. I don't think Moonchild listens to the show. I think Moonchild just... Well, she gets in somehow. Right. Yeah, I guess. Well, where do you see that? I'm checking these messages. After listening, going to sign up, says Miss Shift Bent Valve. There he is with his picture. Oh, this league is pretty good. Like they've got a lot of features that are kind of nice, like write a reply. You can use a different font. All the great stuff. All the big stuff. All right, back to my league. Oh, dummy. What a moron. Well, I'm trying to get to standings, and I'm lost now. I'm totally lost, guys. Clay, you guys were complaining about not being able to see the full list? Yes. When you go to the pull up whatever, the ranking of the standings. Yes. But then at the top of it, to the top left, you'll see like something that says PDF. You could click that, and it like
downloads a whole spread, or not a spreadsheet, but a list of all the names.
Okay, bang, with numbers next to it. This thing is perfect. Good job, Lo. You've justified your existence once again.
I did something good finally.
Here we go. The leader, Patrick the Webmaster. Now, Gio, did Patrick the Webmaster get this up on the website?
Not yet.
No. All right. That's
wait, hold on.
I was gonna say, that's kind of surprising.
Hold on. No, here it is.
There it is.
It's been, I had checked prior to the recording of this, and it has been updated.
There's always a correlation between personal strong performance and checking the fantasy scores.
And what goes on around here, of course.
Okay, so I don't even need to use that website. I can use Patrick's stuff.
There it is. It's up.
There it is. Dirt Girl, 826 guy,
And
Car
the
24
stuff,
fan,
too.
etc. Okay. Most points, Dirt Girl, 352. Biggest gainer, Car 24 fan, up 14 points. And 826 guy, up 14 positions. Biggest loser, oh my goodness. Dirty Hippies. Rich down 24 positions in total free fall. Now, Rich did pick a winner in our Vegas pick segment.
He did. He had Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin, and we'll go first. So Rich is doing well. We got to get on the track with that. But here's what matters. Patrick the Webmaster leads by 2 points over I Can See Her Almirolas. Can you imagine if that was on the trophy? I Can See Her Almirolas. That's Steve the Trucker. Double O Dead On is third. Southern Racer X is fourth. Rich and Saugus is fifth. Only 81 points back. El Jefe.
Look at Rich.
I know.
It's early. All these people are always here early on, making a run. And you know what's going to happen at the end.
They're going to plummet.
The
El
usual
Jefe,
suspects.
Team
will
12,
be,
tied for 6th and 7th. Dirt Girl is 8th. 97 points back, still within 100. Derail 100 is 9th. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR is 10th. 124 back. Followed by Bug Barn, Highline, Real Fine, Little Low. How about Little Low being 13th? This guy's got a shot. You guys could be the first father and son ever to be on the trophy.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. And the belt, I wouldn't have to pay shipping for to change the belt hands, or for the belt to change hands.
That's right, the belt. The belt, man, the belt.
I think about it all the time, like, oh, man, I'm going to have to ship this to somebody. I hope they're not far away.
I wonder, when you ship it to them, are they going to ship it to the next person? That's what I wonder. Like, Lo,
that's what I hope for.
Yeah. And if they don't, then it'll be a
then they got to keep it forever.
It's a great
give me back my shipping charges.
Yeah, exactly. Just write me a check. Sacramento Racing Fan and Tom Inc. tied for 14th.
We know
15th.
you work for the Courier.
Now we're going. Oh, didn't we have a question? You got to answer the question about all the right-hand turns, Lo. But that is.
Did you ever hear that?
Wait,
Lo?
let me get to the end.
But let him finish.
Let me get to the end. Just load him up with stuff we got to ask Lo. Okay. Tennessee Moneyman is 19th. Elephant Racers is 20th. Did he ever get back with you? 25th, Driving Hard.
No, I didn't. Really
30th, Miss Shift Bent Valve, just ahead of the Mrs. Dirty Hippies and behind Fat Tire. 35th, Day Racing 21, just ahead of Stubo and Gio in Miami, who both plummeted. Gosh, Gio down 11 positions. Speaking of Mierda, awful.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney,
You're falling into my clutches. I am 40th, just ahead of 826 guy and behind Willie B Racing. 45th is Hockey Kid. 46th is Spider Monkey. 50th is DRT 99, just behind Dirty Hippies and Uper One and Moonchild. 55th is Mark 23rd. 57th, Team Gray. Oh, Team Gray. Tough deal. 60th, Aviator Racing. Los Chingones. 61st, Low down 13. That's why you groaned when I said let's do fantasy.
Yeah, no, I'm spinning my tires, man. I can't buy a good team right now.
It's tough. It's very tough, challenging sport. Millerman wanted me to tell everybody that he is still listening, and he is out there, and he's just been busy, but he still listens to, quote-unquote, every episode. And he may actually be going to ZMAX Dragway for the 4 Wide Nationals out there, is what it sounded like to me, Millerman. Let's see, Fleet Tree is 66. So where is Buffalo Butt Breath Racing? Is that Miss Little Low?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's her.
See, we identified it correctly. we did it. And there it is, the Fantasy League results in the WFO Radio Fantasy League on driver group game. And we still have some people that are scoring zeros down there, but fewer and fewer. And look, Race Guitar still in it, only 535 points back. I think that's an honest performance. That Race Guitar is just, he's been.
I'm surprised I'm not down there.
You're on your way. You're on your way. So, do they only make right turns?
No.
So
no. That's an old
false.
fable.
It's a fable.
It was a good at least 5, maybe more years ago that there was some sort of technology that it reduces emissions, it reduces idling time, it's faster, etc. And for the majority of the routes, they are designed to kind of keep you going rights, but you obviously still have to make lefts, and they don't like discipline us if you make a left turn or anything like that.
See, Gio.
See, that's Joe a little misrepresenting the facts there. I never said that you guys weren't allowed to make left turns. I just said that the route is, designed or calibrated, however, to avoid making left turns wherever possible, and it is preferable to make 3 rights rather than 1 left.
Well, yeah, but that's still ridiculous because obviously, like I said, that was an old thing that they implemented years back, and now there's a new system that is supposed to reduce miles, and they got us zigzagging back and forth across streets sometimes, like maybe not a main highway but maybe 2 lanes of traffic going in each direction, which is pointless, but obviously it just works smarter, not harder, but they're more of suggestions. That's all it is, and it's a waste of money, I think.
When are the drones taking over? That's what I am wondering. As soon it's going to be like a fleet of drones that just go out and drop off. Each one drops off 1 package.
I want to see them lift those 130, 140-pound shelves that we have to deliver sometimes.
Right. Well, that is it. That's it. That's why we're going to need those Boston Dynamics dog robots. They're going to carry it.
There we go.
Like a sled.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. Well, we've gotten that. What have you thought of the racing so far this year?
Honestly, that's another reason why I haven't really been performing as well. Been busy with life.
It sucks, life. It's always in the way of watching the television.
Well, I mean, we just 2 days ago, we finally got married through the church. So happy anniversary and happy wedding day to Mrs. Lowe.
Wait, what?
And then, we've been married through the courts for 12 years, but we finally got married through the church yesterday.
I like it.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, exactly.
So we've just kind of been preoccupied planning that, and then yesterday was Buffalo Butt Breath's 14th birthday.
So, wait.
See, I told you his kids were considerably older than Gray.
That's Mrs. Little Lowe.
Right.
Little Lowe is how old?
11.
Again.
Okay, 11 to 8. But
it's almost 50% older, and the other one's almost 100% older.
He started playing 75% when he was 8. He's been in the league for at least 3 seasons.
That's fine.
Because Gio is trying to figure a way to kick Little Gray out of the league again.
I'm not trying to find a way to kick him out at all. That's so not true. All I said was that Joe has put an unnecessary burden upon me, and and so forth. That's it. I'm not trying to kick the kid out of the league.
No, I completely get where you're coming from, but you got to remind them, and sometimes they're wrapped up in their Fortnites and their tablets and their little toys or whatnot.
And what about when discipline comes into action in your house, Lo? Because in my house, the first thing that goes is the device and the TV. When people don't do what I call the forced compliance. And so then Joe is trying to make me feel bad that he didn't get to set a team because he's under disciplinary action.
I don't know. I think this needs to be taken up by the WFO court right now because it's not fair that Giovanni can, if he's in a close fantasy league battle with Team Gray at the end of the year, you can't discipline him and take away.
The first and foremost, I'm fair.
You can't.
I'm not a cheater. Now the child would cheat and do whatever, lie, cheat, and steal whatever he does to win, and we know, but we're all aware of that. That's what he tries to do. But I would never impose, discipline unless it's necessary.
I move right here now that the young people, even when they get in trouble, should be allowed to maintain their team because it's a season-long thing, and it is.
Well, this is why you don't have children, and you don't realize that the most important thing is once you say something and being firm. That's it.
Right.
If I say no, it's no. It can't be yes. When the moon is wrapped around your anus or whatever.
But that's not what it is. There's always circumstances. Go ahead.
Gio, you mentioned that you didn't have access to his phone or his tablet or whatever, how the way he logs in. What I did what I do when that situation presents itself is I still, hey, get over here. Let me sign you in. Let me log out. You sign in.
Oh yeah, I'm not going through that trouble, dude. Do you see that?
Now go to your room. Now go to your room. Stay in the corner.
Again, right? Too much trouble, unnecessary. I'm not going through that for him. You got yourself in trouble, and part of the punishment is you don't get to pick a team this week, and you're stuck with whatever you're stuck with.
I hope he beats you.
Sabotage. That's what it is.
Man,
so that's sabotage. Well, whatever. That's just part of it. I mean, at least he's got.
Let's go, Team Gray. Kick his ass. But I'm sorry.
Thank you. Very good pullback there. Low. No, I understand. I understand. So why weren't Gio and I invited to this wedding of yours?
I knew you guys were busy with opening day and the travels and expenses that come with that. And I didn't want to put a burden and make you choose between. So I was being a good friend.
That's unfortunate because Gio and I were just discussing before the show that we would have definitely gone to Arizona.
Believe you me, I really, honestly, you, Rudy, Gio, so many more friends, but it was just a very small, intimate wedding with just family, really.
Joe can bother you all he wants. I love you, Lo, but I wasn't going. And especially,
No, but honestly, I really would have
gone to the after party, but I'm not sitting, around.
What about the after party, exactly? Let's talk about the after party.
It was in our backyard.
Did you have another, wedding celebration afterwards? Like the original?
Yeah.
Because the cool thing about my wedding was the party we had.
Right. No, we just came. The ceremony was late in the evening or early evening, and then we came straight to the house and had a dinner and drinks and food, and it was
No, that sounds fantastic. That's
celebration.
Gio, the cool thing that he had was the party afterwards, right? Gio had a pretty fantastic party, and when I got married, the cool thing that I had was the after party as well.
And we were in a party town too.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was great. The after party of the big weddings. Like everybody's got a great after party wedding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are
You
guys are still married, which is good for you. But let's see. Excellent. So you're not paying attention to the racing, is what you're saying. You're not paying attention. We were just debating.
I'm watching them on DVR.
Okay. Are you watching on Fast Forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to put it on speed number 1 so that you can really see what's going on, not like on 3 or 4.
Yeah.
1's not fast enough. It's got to be faster than 1.
That's like 1.5 time on the podcast.
You got to do 2.
All right.
Yeah, 3 is too fast.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You can't catch when it's on 3.
See, what I do is I go on 3, and then when I see a caution or something happen, like green flag pit stops or whatever, then I will back it up and actually watch. Like, okay, this is when something is happening. This is a moment. Green flag pit stops, and I'll cycle through, and then I'll go back up to 3.
Yeah. Hey, everybody's got their own technique.
Yeah. Very well said. No, but you guys, I think it was after Las Vegas, there was a tweet that was comparing last year's race to this year's race with the packages. We want to talk packages.
I saw it.
Dude, I mean, it's awesome. I really, that race, I think I watched.
Oh, I think I sent that. I know what you're talking about.
But it was good. Like I'm all for this new package, the way it's ran. It's just kind of what was that race? It's not for all tracks, and I don't think there's going to be one certain package that's going to fit all tracks. That's going to make for the best exciting racing at all tracks. But I think for the most part, the boringness of the 1.5 miles is gone.
I think we talk about packages too much.
I think we talk about packages too much. No, I agree. It has been much better. You bring up that Vegas tweet with the video overlay of the previous year. You feel like multiple drivers have an opportunity. It's still hard to get up there to the front, though. But okay, whatever. It's supposed to be. And chances are the fastest car is in front most of the time. That's just the way it works. But what I saw Sunday, like to me, I was excited. I was engaged. I didn't want to fast forward. And that's the difference. Like I didn't get to a point where I felt like, you know what? Nothing is going to happen for 20 minutes. Just these cars going around. And I'm not saying they've solved it, but they have improved it a lot. And that's good news. And I agree.
Right.
They've come up with something. Now, I did listen to the Crank It Up. And I do, you got to give something. So this is minutia. But the sound of the wide-open throttle engines is a little bit muffled now with this tapered spacer system that they've got. Like you could hear that they're restricted. They're not like wide-open screaming V8s, but I'm okay with it. I like to see people with an opportunity when two cars got side by side. Everybody kind of came back into the mix. There was a little bit of a draft. That was entertainment. And I have gotten to a point now where everything that I'm watching, I'm really just, is this entertaining or not? Is it entertaining? Got the basketball on, NCAA tournament versus NASCAR versus Formula One versus drag racing. Like everything I'm watching, I'm just like scaling it for entertainment value. And I felt like there was entertainment value at the Texas race. I enjoyed it.
I'm going to have to watch it tonight.
Yeah, there it is. Well,
it was actually entertaining. There was a lot of passing, and there was multiple cars, always up at the lead. Where normally these mile-and-a-half tracks, somebody, hits the package and checks out.
But I'm not giving them a total win yet.
No,
because it could have been.
There's lots of unintended consequences.
Could have been better. It could have been better. Like they need to continue to work, continuous work. Because look, here's the lap leaders. That's how you know, right? Lap leaders: 45 laps, Denny Hamlin; 3 laps, Clint Boyer; Daniel Suarez, 9 laps; 30 laps, Eric Jones; 60 laps, Jimmy Johnson; 15 laps, William Byron; 3 laps, Eric Almirola; 66 laps, Kyle Busch; 10 laps, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, 35 laps; 5 laps, Austin Dillon; Joey Logano, 8 laps, and that's it. But that is a pretty fair.
That's a lot. It sounds
like
at least 8 guys
of leading like large chunks, getting up there.
Right.
So what more do you want? That's pretty good. Kyle was in the mix. Jimmy was in the mix. Eric Jones, Joy, Chase. That's it. You want your stars to be able to get up there and lead some of the race so that you can talk about them and that their fans can get excited for a few minutes before they fall back and are replaced by the next guy. That's what you want.
Right.
Matt DiBenedetto.
Yep.
I need Matty D, to get up there and mix it up.
Replaced. Gosh, he needs a better ride, man.
Matt,
I agree. He's a good guy. Yeah, I want to see him in good car.
I think he's earning his way, man. Matty D, he's earning his way up to a better ride. Hopefully, his ride's not even terrible. It's just they're only they're good at certain tracks. So now the segue to Formula One, which I know that you probably did not watch, they have been battling the same problem, and racing in general. Fortunately, drag racing does not have this problem because they're short races, and it's always competitive. One of the reasons why I love it, because I know I'm always going to see close racing. There's always going to be close racing in drag racing. It's always going to be a short and intense moment. I'm going to be able to be like, wow, and then I can move on to the next thing. It's the sport for ADHD, or the all-direction drive. But Formula One has been battling the same thing, and I think that they have solved a lot of their problem also. This year, like this race yesterday, or Sunday, was probably the most active race that I've seen in many, many years. Like, this guy passing this guy, and this guy passing this guy, and this happening, and that happening, and something else happening. Now, the guy who won the race was running like second, third, going through the field. The guy who finished third was leading the race the whole time and had a car problem. And his car just like petered out at the end, and he hung on for third. That was the heartbreak of it, Charles Leclerc. But just everybody on everybody, there was active passing the whole race. Giovanni, am I wrong?
It's yes.
I'm wrong.
Up and down the field.
I'm wrong. What do you mean I'm wrong?
Active
what
passing,
you
are
about?
not wrong.
I was like, am I wrong? And you're like, yes, you're wrong.
Well, you're wrong all the time, but you're not wrong about this.
Why am I wrong? What's wrong about it?
No, you're not wrong in this.
Oh.
There was active passing up and down the field.
There it is.
I didn't DVR that one. Sorry.
You should. You really should. It's good stuff.
You could just get it like on ESPN online or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's true. Watch the replay.
Yeah, no, you could. And
no commercials.
Nope, no commercials. No, well, actually, that's a great thing that triggered the light bulb going off. after the first week, Formula One, they ran commercials on ESPN, and they stopped the race. They stopped, and Nicole Mansky or whoever it is would come on and say that we'll be right back, but we're not going to miss anything, that the race is going to continue where we left off. And so they did that the first week. But then this week now they went to the no commercial package.
This week was no commercials, and it was fantastic.
Yes.
No commercials or that side-by-side stuff?
No commercials.
No commercials at all.
No commercials at all. Like, it's just the race
last
for
year ESPN
an hour and a
running
half.
the full Sky telecast, which they don't commercial on Sky. So it became a problem last year after the first race because ESPN just commercialed whenever they felt like it, and you'd come back and had missed 3 minutes of racing. And, it's not like the broadcast here. The broadcasters didn't know that the affiliate went to commercial.
Right.
So they had no way of telling us or even, idea that they should recap what we had just missed.
Right. But in the end, it was Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and
it was a sad day for Ferrari, another Ferrari fail in the great big scheme of things, as they were leading the race.
Brutal.
And Charles Leclerc's car broke. It didn't fully break, but it broke enough that he had to nurse it home in third.
Yeah.
Third.
Charles Leclerc finished third. Let's give the final results. Max Verstappen, fourth. Sebastian Vettel, fifth. Sixth, Lando Norris. Seventh, Kimi Räikkönen. Eighth, Pierre Gasly. Ninth, Alexander Albon. And 10th, Sergio Perez. The Haas F1s, both out of the points. K-Mag, 13th. And Roman Grosjean was dead last, had a problem right at the start of the race. Unfortunately,
got taken out.
Collected in someone else's incident. K-Mag just kind of slid back. Didn't really have a great day. Whatever, those are the breaks. The real sadness of the deal, though, is Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, just as they were starting to, they were going to have a good battle and they're going to mix it up, Vettel spins out again. And people are angry, man. Ferrari fans are like, what's going on? They're talking about pressure, talking about this, talking about that. Vettel says it had nothing to do with that. He just lost the car. But speaking of being robbed of, great entertainment, that's what we were all hoping for. Even if Lewis bests Vettel at that moment and then they just continue on, whatever. But we didn't get to see any of that. It was immediate spin out. Yeah. We were bummed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the pressure or what, but clearly over the last couple of seasons, Sebastian has not been able to get the best of anybody he's racing toe-to-toe with.
No. Even Kimi Räikkönen. They end up crashing.
Verstappen knocks him out of the way and leaves him spinning in the dust.
I was happy to see Verstappen messing with somebody else, though. Verstappen bumping off somebody.
He did.
And I love the Alfa Romeo Ferraris. Those cars are gorgeous. The look of it, just the look.
No, I understand. You like the red. You're a big fan of the red.
That's
so
even more of a
matte
deeper.
Black, the flat red now that Ferrari is using?
I'm okay with it.
The flat red and black, I think the combination looks actually pretty cool. I like it better than the bright red and white.
My dad hates it because
of course Ferrari
matte
red.
finish. It's totally antithesis to Ferrari and matte colors, but I'm okay with it for a race or two. I don't want it all the time.
I think that's this year's colors.
The matte finish is all forever?
Not forever, for the year.
For the year?
How they changed the scheme.
I don't want matte finish for the whole year. I like shiny paint, man. I'm not into that flat stuff. And I think somewhere at some microscopic... Right. Well, microscopic level, it's not as aerodynamic also.
All right. That I don't necessarily understand or believe, but...
Well, how could a matte finish be as smooth as a shiny finish?
Of course, right. It's not as smooth.
Right.
Right. It's not waxed.
Right.
Right, I get it.
So at a microscopic level, it's got to be creating more drag.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be.
Yeah, sure.
No, but you're saying that sarcastically. I'm telling you the truth, man.
All right.
I'm telling you a fact.
I'd like to see the data on that.
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. What's the data say?
Yeah, exactly.
Data doesn't exist.
I don't know. Maybe it does. And maybe Ferrari's got a legit example. Maybe they say we need the downforce. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Who knows? But anyway, we got this sponsor on the Performance TV show called, they're not a sponsor of WFO, but they do sponsor Performance TV, so I will mention them. It's called Top Coat. And their their deal is they're a
Do you get to go over there and like try the different paints like at the golf place?
Well, that's where I'm going tomorrow, is up there to Jacksonville, Florida, to their headquarters. And Top Coat F11, like Formula 11 Top Coat. So what it is you no longer have to wax your vehicle, right? For those of us that wax our vehicle. Lo, do you wax your vehicle?
No, sir.
You don't wax your vehicle?
No, he pays somebody to do it.
Do you pay someone to wax your vehicle?
No.
Do you maintain your automobile at all?
No. Yes. But no, I do not. I have not waxed my car or Mrs. Lowe's.
How old are these vehicles? How long has it been, Lo?
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. Yeah, no. My wife's is a 13. Mine's an older car.
And you haven't waxed your vehicle? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
You're not maintaining your vehicle, Lo. What is the meaning of this?
Right. Not the exterior. It's just the point A to point B car.
But
That's
so
all it
you're
is.
just going to let it wear out? You're going to let the paint just, like, wither and die? You got to feed the paint, man. What are you doing?
I know. But I'm looking for a right color. I don't know. I'm a color guy too.
The UV rays. What about the UV rays beating down on the paint? What about the trading value?
They've done a number. They've done a number. I think it gives it that, rugged edge.
All right. So anyway, this product takes the place of the waxing situation, and you just spray it on and you like buff it in, and it's really easy. It's like spraying Windex on something. You know what I mean? It's pretty amazing. So when they came around, I was very skeptical, like, oh man, I'm an old school wax guy, right? It's supposed to take 6 hours, otherwise it's not working. You're building up this film of wax over the paint. So they explained to me that at the microscopic level, like paint is very jagged, that there's porous, there's holes in there, and that this stuff and wax, when you wax it, it kind of goes over the top of that microscopic porous look that you might imagine. Visualize a sponge or something, and that the wax goes over the top of it and it protects it until it wears out, and then you got to do it again, and that's what wax is. That this stuff, because it's a microscopic liquid, nano whatever, it sprays on and it goes right down into all of those little porous holes in the paint. And it builds up, and it gives it UV protection, and it makes it slick so nothing sticks to it, et cetera, and so on. So I was, like I said, skeptical. Like, I don't know, man. And then I got to use this stuff because they're a sponsor, and I got to try it, and I was like, wow, blown away. This stuff actually works. And not only that, but it works on like the rubber of your car, and it works on the glass of your car. You could spray the same stuff on everything and just wipe it on and wipe it off. And you do that on a regular basis. You're keeping your car protected, and you don't have to wax it. How about that? That's where I'm going tomorrow. And I can't believe you guys don't wax your cars, man. You got to do it. You got to maintain. It's insane not waxing your vehicle, though. You got to do it.
Wax off.
Wax on, wax off, right. Right a circle, left a circle, up, down.
Well, I haven't seen that movie either, so.
You never saw Karate Kid, Lo? Really?
Come on, Lo. Even my kid has seen the Karate Kid.
It's just bits and pieces that I've seen parts of them. Like, I don't even know which Karate Kids, but yeah, I've seen bits and pieces.
Just watch the first Karate Kid is really all you got to watch.
Yeah, that's it. Just the original one.
Just the original one. If you really feel crazy about it. And it's a short movie, too. Just watch it. That's an easy one. The kids will like it, too. And then if you really want to go crazy, go to YouTube and watch the Cobra Kai, which has been a big problem for me. Like, I can't get episode 3. I've been trying to get episode 3.
I heard about this.
Me and the Gray, we were hanging out for like 5 hours the other night trying to watch episode 3. We were all excited, and by the end of it, we were like, enough, and gave up. Someone has uploaded the wrong video to YouTube that says episode 3, and it's not. Something else. So it was very wrong. But
Increíble.
Anyway. All right, Lo, got anything else?
Are you guys coming to Phoenix next year?
That's right.
That's awesome, dude.
Well, I am not, you're the only reason I'm not disappointed, because I know that you guys are going to go and you're going to be able to enjoy and you're going to have fun. It's not even like you guys don't have a bad track. Your track is good. It's an interesting track. I don't think it's as good as our track, but it's a good track. I'm disappointed for us, but I'm happy for you.
The renovations that they did, they are amazing. So I think that's a big part as to why they wanted to have it.
Like
here.
what? Like give me an example.
Like they did away with pre-race pit passes. They did away with those, and they got what's called an infield pass, and that's pretty much like a cold pass. Not a hot pass, a cold pass.
Yes. And
you can go, hang out on the infield, chill. They got comfortable lounge chairs, bunch of TVs, bars, couple bars. Garage actually is right there too. So it's a really nice upgrade they did there.
Well, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Yeah. So
no, and that's great. But as we discussed in last week's show, for this market, it could be terminal, dude.
Yeah, and I heard that, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of sucks.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe Joe and I are wrong about this one.
Right.
Maybe if they add I don't know, like a big ring of fire between coming off at turn 4 over there, and then it's only wide enough for maybe 2 cars to squeeze through.
Oh, the figure 8.
Yeah.
The figure 8? I was going to say ring of fire,
Is that what we're talking now? Like, what will it take to interest
the
Miami
look, the thing
people?
Is that this is,
ring of fire.
An
I don't think so.
Town, man.
Yeah.
It just is.
Jennifer Lopez going to be there, shaking her booty with, I don't know. And then there's the ring of fire? Maybe. Well, we just went to opening day baseball, right? Time for Sports Collision. And we had first of all, I had a great time going down to Marlins Park. I profess it has got to be one of the nicest stadiums in Major League Baseball. Well, primarily, it's intimate, it's small, it's clean, it's nice, it's air conditioned. Okay, so it's checking all the great boxes. But Derek Jeter has improved many of the things that bothered me, but other people might have liked them, like colors. The walls used to be this kind of neonish
crappy green.
It's a green, like a gross green, and I always felt like the green of a baseball field should be the green of the grass. The
only green. Right. I mean, maybe the batter's eye out in center field, but no, the thing that stands out is the grass.
Right. And what they had done at Marlins Park under the previous regime was put all this horrible green everywhere, which then distracted from the field and made the field look washed out and gross. Just a bunch of stuff. So Jeter fixed all of that. Now the walls are blue. The batter's eye is green. It's because it's got ivy growing on it, or it's fake ivy, which is very possible. They got rid of the big statue. They put that outside, which we did not see that, Giovanni. I didn't see where the statue was.
But we also didn't go around the outside of the stadium, only to that front little part.
It's in the back by the shed. But next time we got to go. We got to go find the statue.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we walk in, we go upstairs, we make a right, and we're walking to our seats. We were in section 6, actually very good seats, right by first base. And all of a sudden, they're doing the pregame show, and there's this big crowd of people, and they got their phones out. We're like dummies. We're like, what's going on? What could possibly interest people at Marlins Park that there's actually a crowd
shaking
around?
Her butt.
Right. It was not even that. It was the great Derek Jeter. The captain was there on the pregame show, just talking about his team. And it was then that Giovanni lost it.
What are you talking about?
It's when you
he became a 13-year-old girl.
You did. Did you scream? Did you scream?
Did I scream?
Did you scream?
Oh my God! It was Derek Jeter.
Not exactly like that. No, it was not a high pitched. I would say I raised my voice somewhat. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Your balls
scream.
dropped again.
I might have yelled something.
You did scream.
I guess it could be defined as a scream. I guess if you wanted to define it that way.
Like it was like the Beatles, man. This guy's song. What did you say? Did you just scream like or did you say something to Derek?
I said we love you, Derek.
We.
Yeah, we.
Who's we?
Me and the mouse in my pocket. Everyone loves Derek.
I think that's hysterical.
I did yell, we love you, Derek.
We love you, Derek. Can you recreate it so we can understand?
We love you, Derek.
It was Lo, you got to understand, we were very happy about it. Like, Derek Jeter's right there. And it was very exciting, man. It was very exciting. It was a cool thing seeing Derek. But I didn't just want to make it perfectly clear. I did not yell anything at Derek Jeter. I just stood there respectfully like a man and enjoyed his interview.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's very well, and I tweeted that out. You didn't see that?
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yeah, he was right there, man. We were right
cool. Yeah.
there. The captain, Derek Jeter.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to see when you go to the ballpark.
Well, it was good. They ended up losing, but it was a good deal. And opening day, they had a good, I would call it 75% crowd. Giovanni said it was 25,000. The second night was 6,000, which is unfortunate.
Oh.
That's normal, man. That's
now, to be fair,
that's our market.
They count people through the turnstiles now, not tickets sold, which used to be the previous policy.
Right.
And that's against the Rockets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now tonight against the Mets, I don't know what.
It could have been a bigger crowd. I don't know what there was tonight. If you want, I'll try to do my best
look
to
it up.
research in a second.
Look it up.
Is it like here in Phoenix where there's always a bigger visiting team crowd than there is home crowd?
There could be if it's a popular visiting team.
Yeah, Phoenix is going to be Red Sox Nation this weekend. That's all I'm saying, man.
Oh yeah, when the
day
Sox
for the
come
Diamondbacks,
down,
I got tickets. We're there.
Wow.
When the Cubbies come down, when all the other teams come down, there's definitely scores of the visiting crowd. But also by default, Miami is a transient town where the majority of the people that live here have moved here from somewhere else.
Look at us. We're the perfect example. We're Yankee fans, and I was born and bred in Hollywood, Florida, man. I am Hollywood, Florida as it gets. But the thing people don't understand is that when I was born, the New York Yankees spring trained here, and there was no other baseball. Like, the only baseball that existed in our part of Florida was New York Yankees spring training baseball. And my parents came from New Jersey, so it only makes sense. Like, we are a New York Yankee. We called on the Yankee Roll Call podcast that we did for so many years, called it the southern tip of the Yankee Empire, because this is where they spring trained for so many years. Joe D and Mickey Mantle and everybody, we know the bars that they would go to and the place they would go to. So, of course, we would grow up Yankees. I would go watch the Fort Lauderdale Yankees single A squad play with my friends while we were in high school. It was just a thing. And so, now the Marlins came around.
6,500 tonight.
See, that's not good.
It's Monday night.
I blame the Mets fans, man. Come on, Met fans. Go see your team.
Well, that's where they got the extra 2,000.
Well, 6,500, but what'd you say last night was? 6,000.
Yeah.
500.
Well, Friday was 6,000. I'll double check now for the rest of the here.
If a Yankee game was on Monday night, they would have gotten 20,000. And we take over that place. But then the Marlins
I had tickets
fans
to the Yankees game.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sorry. I said I had tickets to the Yankees game against the Diamondbacks, but I gave them away.
You gave them away. You threw them in the garbage. Yeah, good job. Whatever, Lou. You know what? No one remembers any of that ever since Robert Kraft got busted for soliciting prostitution.
Hey, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Jaguars fan.
Well, it sullied the whole city of Boston and everything associated.
Look, they had 7,600 yesterday on Sunday afternoon. That wasn't terrible.
But it is, though. That's horrible. What do you mean? It's the first series of the season. You're 3 days into the ball season, and you're drawing 7,000 out of an area metroplex of 3 million people.
6,500 on Saturday.
3 million people are around here. Granted, not all real close, but only 7,000 people decided to go take in America's national pastime on the first week of the season.
Was attendance higher when Giancarlo was there?
Not significantly, no. The team sucks, dude.
Okay.
No.
And in South Florida, in order for people to go out and see you, you have to put a winning product on the field, no matter what the sport is. Whether it's the Heat, the Dolphins, the Hurricanes, it's just a fact. There's too much stuff to do down here. So people, they'll buy the tickets, but they won't go.
Right, like they got to win 10 in a row. Like if they go on like a 6-game
look, I don't know about
win
10
streak,
in a row, but
people will start.
the
Marlins. Oh, do we need to go?
And if the
We'll
team
go.
is good
Let's
and is competitive at like 500 or stuff, then people start going slightly. Now, if the team wins and makes the playoffs, they'll be sold out all the time. That's how it works around here.
Yes, for a while until
they suck again,
and
until whatever happens.
They won't.
But
draw
nonetheless.
Flies.
Yes, if you're winning and the team is relevant and fun, people will be out there going. But the most important part is you have to have some kind of winning. And unfortunately for baseball in this town, they've gotten the short end of the stick for, the better part of the last 20 years.
Well, no, really what happened, if the real story of Miami baseball is that Wayne Huizinga brought the team into existence.
In 93.
And had a plan. He was going to try to work a baseball stadium, and in the meantime, they were playing where the Dolphins played. But in between those two periods, he bought a team. He went out and got everybody.
They went out and spent a bunch of money in free agency in 96.
You're cutting me off, man. I'm giving the story, and you just jumped the
Well,
story.
you kind of like...
No, I'm telling the exact story, exactly what happened. And like you said, they went out in free agency and brought in a whole bunch of guys and were trying to politic to get a stadium, but it wasn't looking like it was going to happen. And so at the tail end of the 97 season, no one was really showing up. By the way, a bad crowd back then was like 15,000, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot more interest back then. They go on this amazing World Series run, and they win. They beat the Cleveland Indians in the World Series that year. And Wayne fire sales the team.
That the same offseason said, people didn't show up. We bought this, we paid all this free agency money, and people didn't show up throughout the season. Completely ignoring the fact that they were selling out, 65,000 seats all playoffs long and World Series.
And I went to those games. I went to 2 World Series.
And all of that in 97. And had records of biggest crowds ever.
Never gave the city a chance to support the winning team.
The following year.
Broke up the team before the city had a chance. And so everybody felt very upset and very angry and bitter about the whole thing. And it took a long time to recover any semblance of interest. Then come around 2003.
And he sold the team. No, he sold the team right shortly after that. And it was bought by John Henry, who, by the way, is the owner of your team now.
Yes, and that's a whole boondoggle.
Yes. Now, I don't know. You may or may not have been into the knowledge of whatever backhanded stuff happened there between MLB and John Henry and the thief art dealer, which was the guy that owned the Marlins up until recently. But he used to own the Expos. And baseball somehow gave... I can't even remember. Jeffrey Loria, the Marlins.
Yes.
They gave John Henry the Red Sox, and they took over the Expos, which became the Washington Nationals.
And moved the
and
team to
baseball
Washington.
owned the Nationals for the first couple of years of their existence when they went back to Washington, and then eventually sold it to Lerner, or whoever owns the team now. And everybody made out very well. John Henry got the Red Sox, and a couple years later, they win the World Series. The Marlins,
Wayne cashed out big time on his deal.
Wayne cashed out. The art dealer got the Marlins. They won the World Series with the team that Dombrowski and those guys had just built before they took off.
Well, they beat the Yankees in the 2003 World Series.
Right.
And immediately fire-sailed the scene
again. That is technically
again.
not accurate. They fire-sailed the year after. That team came back in 2004, and then they held the fire sale.
I think some of them were gone.
Yeah. No, I'm
Burnett, Beckett.
Yeah, but those guys didn't get sold till after the next year, not right following the World Series win.
Traded?
Yeah, they got traded. Sold. They were all traded off. You guys got Beckett, and he ended up pitching for the Marlins in 2003, and the Red Sox in 2004.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 2003 was the championship year for the Marlins.
Yes, it was.
And 2004, he was a Red Sox. I don't know. Bottom line is the South Florida community has been, brokenhearted over the Marlins many times. And so now, man, they are not going back. They are pissed. And they are not going back. And that's why.
But they will once the team wins.
Well, exactly. As soon as you start to win. And that's why we're having this conversation, because we're comparing it to NASCAR. The season finale is why people, yeah, let's go. It's the championship. We'll go. Are they just going to go to a regular race? I'll go to a regular race, Lo. Of course I'll go to a regular race. Right. Are they going to go to a regular race? Like, how many are going to go to a regular race? Is it going to be, what's the loss? What's the loss? Is it going to be 10,000 people that say, nah? Is it going to be 20,000 people that say, nah? That's what we don't know right now. Go ahead, Gio. You got the stats.
Yes. Josh Beckett did not get to Boston until 2006. He pitched in Florida 04 and 05.
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm telling you, the big fire sale was not till after the 04 season. Look here. Miguel Cabrera.
Yes, who was pretty good, who was on that team.
Was actually not traded until after the 07 year.
So the team that came back as World Series champions then
was slowly dismantled as guys were going to reach their free agency because they couldn't afford to sign anybody. They used the not having the stadium as the reason, and so as they kept the guys a couple of years, almost kind of like the slow dismantling of Giancarlo 1 year, and then the next year Yelich and so forth.
Yeah, well, as they had to do
and
it.
And now Real Muto left this year. Right, this is a different situation because...
Imagine the Marlins with those guys? Jeez.
Yeah, it would, but they would have... The problem is that they would have... In order to do that, you had to come in here and spend big money on bringing in pitching and everything else that they lacked. Because as good as that team, those guys were, what did they do? They won 80 games?
No, what killed the final thing that killed it?
Kind of like the Yankees this year.
Yeah, right. Jose Fernandez dying.
Well, yes, that's
what killed everything this time around. So this is 3 times now the team has risen and been either torn down or broken apart or whatever. And the Jose Fernandez, he was the ace starting pitcher.
Arguably, one of the best pitchers in the league.
Yes.
Period.
And with Stanton.
Personality, too.
With Real Muto,
yes,
all those
smile.
guys, it was going to be great. And he goes out, and they were coked up, right? Like in a boat in the middle of the night. Drunk in the middle of the night, boating. Yes. Like, come on, you guys probably live in the middle of the country, but you're smart enough to know that boating in the darkness is very dangerous. And ended up dead.
And more importantly, if you're not 100% sure where you're going and so forth, it's even
jetties that
because
stick
out. All
gone.
I mean, we've all living down here.
They hit it. The rocks
most people
at full speed.
Have gone out in a boat at night. We're just not driving full speed, not knowing exactly where you're at.
I'll tell you, I've been out on a boat, like a personal private boat, like less than 5 times at night, because everybody that's got a personal private boat doesn't want the responsibility of the nonsense of being out there in the darkness. It's not cool, man. There's no traffic lights out there. You don't see when there's stuff in the water, debris, etc. It's dangerous. And they're like, it was late? Yeah, let's go out.
It was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Man. It wasn't late.
Horrible story.
They were partying. What are you going to do? Guys that age think, that they're going to live forever.
And
we did.
And that, well, we haven't, right, exactly. Great way to tie it back to the beginning. All you kids out there, keep working, please. So, and so there, for everybody who is a WFO listener, thanks to Lo, not us, thanks to Lo, you just have the entire birth to death story of the Miami Marlins.
Damn, Lo.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You just killed
it.
And
now for the other 2 people
to bring you guys up, let me do it.
Okay.
All right. So, Yankees this year, you come off 100 wins. Right?
Yes.
And with the addition of Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, who else did you guys want? Corbin. I mean, you guys are stacked, right?
Well, no, we are saving the money.
Oh, you didn't get them?
No, we're saving the money. We don't believe in buying World Series championships.
I could have sworn you guys were saying spending $600-700 million.
We don't believe in buying World Series championships. We believe in building from within.
Okay, Lo, don't listen to this guy over here.
Taking a page from the Red Sox books on that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
with
please.
Mookie Betts, Benintendi, Bradley. Let me see. Who else? Petey, Bogarts.
Don't they have a big payroll?
You want me to keep going?
Did Petey even play on your team last year? Or is he
but
still
that's
on your
what I'm
team?
saying.
He must be like the Ellsbury of our team.
No, that was a gift from us to you guys.
No, thank you.
Well, actually, it was. They didn't sign Cano because of that. But look, Lo, I'm all for spending all the money in the world and bringing in all those guys. I don't believe in any of this saving money and salary cap. What good is having more money than all the other teams if you're not going to use it? You know?
Right.
But unfortunately, I don't own the Yankees, and clearly Big Stein, is out to pasture nowadays. The kids don't have the same philosophy, unfortunately. They got to be under this luxury tax and all these made-up numbers when, in the end, use the analytics all you want. But again, what good is the advantage of having all this money and more money than everybody else if you're not going to put it to work? And so I believe that they should use the analytics and bring up guys from within the organization because you have to have that. But also, you can afford to go out there and throw money and make mistakes. You could just do it, so you might as well try to use the one advantage that you do have, which is more money than everybody else. Because if everybody's playing Moneyball, then eventually the one difference is going to be who spends more money.
What move didn't they make that you wanted them to make?
Well, I wasn't against signing a guy like Harper. I mean, I wasn't big on Machado, but guess what? As in hindsight, Machado would look great at third base right now when Andujar's probably out for the season.
Oh, wow. I saw that. Damn.
Now, again, that one's hindsight. And first of all, I don't necessarily prefer the Machado style, but I was definitely would have loved to seen the lefty Bryce Harper in Yankee Stadium on that short
court. You
court.
got the former All-Star and MVP, the 55-year-old Troy Tulowitzki, though, right?
Yeah, dinger.
But
dinger
again,
yesterday.
They paid $1 million for that guy, dude. That's nothing. That guy is, if he gives them anything, and so I guess now
it's in the clubhouse.
Right, he's giving them leadership and some. He's gonna be playing short till Didi gets back, but now with Andujar out, the guy that they got to be the defensive utility guy, LeMahieu, is going to be starting a lot at third. So that puts the guy that they had.
I thought that was a good pickup. I thought that was a good pickup for you guys.
I thought that was a great pickup. But I also don't understand why. You know what, man? Go out there and offer this guy Keuchel. Don't overpay and give him 25 or 30 million. But the guy is still sitting there at home unemployed. Why not offer him, 3 years, 60 million, or 4 years, 80 million? Just or even
How old is he?
He's 30 or 31.
Wow.
Come on, man. There's no reason why that guy. I don't know the particulars. I don't know that he hasn't overpriced himself or that he's saying, if I don't get X, I'm not signing or whatever it is. But
I think it's just his titles that he feels entitled. Former Cy Young and just, his numbers in
what
years
about
past.
Kimbrough? Come on. Why are these guys? So you really think these guys just essentially outpriced themselves?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're being stubborn. They got, obviously, dude, if you had, hundreds of millions of dollars saved.
Well, hundreds of millions. I don't know that they got that. None of those guys have made that much
money. No, but I'm saying, throughout their career.
I understand what you're saying, millions, but
you got it saved up, and it's like, I could afford to take a year off. And, yeah, you're hurting yourself by doing so, but at the same time, then that's going to be on them.
Yeah. No, look, I've had this discussion where I don't see how in a football, in reference to football, Le'Veon Bell sat out last year and left $14.5 or $14.8 million on the table. That's money that in a career where you only play
you have
most
a shelf life.
10, 12, 15 years, which is,
the best.
The best of the best ever have careers that long. How do you leave $14 million on the table? In my opinion, while he is, now he says, he saved his wear and tear on his body for a year or what have you, but if you only have 10 to 12 years to work, you can't leave $14 million on the table, man. But that's just my opinion. But clearly I'm wrong because he left it there and he got paid, but he's never going to recover that money.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that at some point guys have to do, make a smart choice and just be like, yeah, I'm not going to get 25 million, but what's wrong with 18?
This has been General Manager Talk with Lo and Gio. But, Lo, I hear you talking a little smack, and you feeling real puffed up about your team, and that is good and all. But and Gio basically just, suggested that I feel confident about our team, too, and I think we're going to have a great battle. Let's put it that way. And Gio, made me just, throw up in my mouth a little bit with Andujar out for the season. Now I'm going to the thing.
I still take the under on 100 for both home runs and wins for you guys.
Yeah, between the two. Well, I said
well, we may not get to 100
under.
wins, but we'll still win the division.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that your team, we started 1-2, but you guys are 1-3.
It's okay. You guys lost to the Orioles.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
That's nothing to say about that.
But you know what it is? That the Orioles this early in the year don't know that they're supposed to suck yet.
Well, yeah, and our spring training for the pitchers kind of just is barely beginning, so we're still working out the kinks. It's a decoy. I mean, they started the Red Sox off on the West Coast for 11 games before they get back home, so they're already putting them at a disadvantage. So the guys just have the mentality, you know what, we don't really start playing ball until we get back home. So
that's what it is. God, yeah. I hope they're not 0-11 or 1-10 by the time they get back.
Hey, we got to make a comeback, and we're going to make history again.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. All right, final thing, Sports Collision. And Lo is, I guess, co-hosting the show this time, and I think it's great. No, it's great. You've got such a stable and clear connection on Skype. I think you can definitely do it.
That Joe hasn't even answered any.
No, it's working out perfectly. But the tournament, man.
March Madness.
The NCAA tournament. I watched all the games this past weekend, and everyone came down to the final second.
It usually seems that way.
But in this case, Zion is out, though.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing because I was just mentioning last week how that guy is must-see TV. And it was a must-see TV type of game. But unfortunately, they lost by a point there. What was the game? The
Texas Tech and Virginia. No, Texas Tech and Gonzaga.
Gonzaga's.
My dad asked me, what's Gonzaga? And I was like, it's college. It's college. It's out there. So it's going to be Texas Tech.
And Michigan State.
Michigan State and Auburn and Virginia.
That is correct.
And Charles Barkley cried.
Well, yeah, he went to Auburn. He's a big Auburn fan.
He broke down into tears, which is fine. I'm okay with it. It's just a statement of fact. Broke down.
This is the first year I did not fill out a bracket.
Oh, good.
Since I could remember. It's the first year, and it's just we had a crappy year here at the university. So, University of Arizona.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. You guys.
Yeah, you guys are up to no good. What's your coach's name? Sean or something like that?
Oh no, it's not even that. It's just a crappy team. We had a very crappy team of. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, no, they couldn't get the payments out to the right guys.
Hey, next year, just wait. What?
Just wait. Yeah, that's the problem with all that shady NCAA business, man.
It's very shady, man.
It's
the whole thing.
That's the problem, man.
Not just NCAA.
Who do you guys have going? Who do you guys have going to the championship then?
Wow, why not? Let's just take Texas Tech. They've been on this hot streak, and let's put them in the championship against Virginia.
I agree.
Who last year was the first ever number 16 seed to fall. I mean, the number 1 seed to fall to a 16 seed. So, of course, it's going to come full circle, and they're going to win the championship this year. Right.
Of course.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing, man. And haven't the last 2 games by Virginia been like buzzer beater or like down to the last wire too? So
yeah, they're another one. They were about to lose and had that miracle comeback there that with the missed free throw. And
when are these games?
I believe Saturday will be the Final Four, and Monday will be the championship.
All right.
Yep.
So we may be right here on the air going as the championship is playing.
I will be traveling back from Las Vegas.
Let me rephrase that. I may be here by myself doing the show.
Yeah. That's it. Simple as that.
I can't co-host next week?
Yeah. The Skype line is so clear, you might as well. Sports Collision with Lo. That is really good.
Look at that. We had a guest on Sports Collision. That might be a first.
It was good. Well, he's just calling to taunt us. And we're just,
you know what? Let him have his fun. We'll see who's having fun at the end of the year.
Well, and also he's got a great team, so there's not a lot we could say. We should just shut up for now.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. I believe in talking smack after it's over. That's right, Lo.
Joe, Lo, what do you think? Joe's dying to fire Aaron Boone already.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wouldn't, because, again, your guys' win history, your guys' if you're not winning championships, you're losing, no matter if you go to the series or not. And even if you guys would have made it last year and lost or anything. It just there is a lot more pressure there in New York, and whether or not Boone is being a good puppet, if you will, just because he does follow the analytics from up above, like, you know, it's still like, right, because that's why they hired him also, because he's a fan of the analytics. He's willing to say, you know what, all right, I'll take a shot on that, but you know, it just sometimes you got to throw those numbers out the window and just play the damn game.
Well, exactly. And here's what I know, okay? I know that the team that was not supposed to do anything went to the ALCS, and then they fired the manager, and then we did not go anywhere, and now here we are. And so Aaron Boone, who I love him for what he did to you guys, and it's one of my great personal sports moments of my life, and I imagine how young Lowe must have felt when Aaron Boone hit that home run, and how it must have been a heartbreaker for you. And that makes me feel a little okay right now. But honestly,
that got him the job, but that's not going to keep him the job.
Well, he's never managed anything, and we saw it last year. He got the pants managed off him a couple of times. And you guys have got a great manager, obviously. So not. But
by the way, believes in the analytics, but also has the stones to go with his gut a lot. Which is the difference that what I felt like he managed a lot in those playoffs, not just by the analytics.
Which is fine. But Aaron Boone, who, I got nothing against him, but you just got an extremely short leash. George Steinbrenner set the bar, okay? If the team is underperforming 20 games in, you got to be talking about it. And by the way,
did you get
Girardi
no.
never got a long leash ever once. There was people talking about Girardi getting fired 20 games in every season if they were underperforming. Fortunately, they didn't. Joe Torre, guess what? There were people who talked about Torre getting fired. Oh, the Yankees, man, we did get rid of Torre. So why is Aaron Boone like this Teflon guy that everybody like, oh, no, he's definitely going to be the manager for the whole year? I just think that's un-Yankee-like.
Well, because none of those guys got fired in their second year.
Well, because they performed better, and they took a team that was worse and made it better.
Girardi didn't make the playoffs in his first year after.
Yes, in his first year he did not make the playoffs. And in his second year, what happened?
He
won the World Series. Exactly. There it is. He won the World Series. So Aaron Boone, first year.
You mentioned last week the bench coach.
Yes.
You mentioned last week the bench coach for the Sox. Who's your guys' bench coach? Like if Skip's out, if Boone's out for a game or something, gets ejected, who picks up?
I don't even know, because I know Tony Pena left when he got skipped over.
Well, the reason I'm bringing that up is because Phil Nevin. I watched Phil Nevin play here in Tucson, and he was
I think he worked for us, doesn't
guy. What's that?
Right, go ahead.
No, he played here at Tucson, AAA with the Astros organization, I think at the time, and he was known for just kind of an a-hole almost, like just really a bad vibe kind of guy, and that's kind of I'm not gonna say who told me that, but
Josh Bard.
No,
that's who it is now. Josh Baird.
Yankees.
Phil Nevin
Josh Bard
is the third base coach.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah. No. Well, I don't know. It's just it's the group that is carrying the team. Just who's gonna.
Well,
maybe it's not just Boone.
Yeah, and I don't know. Larry Rothschild. I don't know how. I don't necessarily agree with the way he runs the pen either.
Whatever, guys.
So, whatever. We'll see.
The season just started. Let him play. Let him play a little while, okay?
Let him play.
Let him play. Let's watch some baseball, and we'll reconvene at the All-Star break, and we'll have a discussion about who's what. Maybe Boone will be fired.
And hopefully by then I will be in the top 10 in fantasy.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the way it goes. That's the whole point.
Because we got to tie it back to motorsports.
Exactly. And I don't hate Sports Talk Radio. I like Sports Talk Radio, but it can go just too deep because you can just drill down and down and down. At some point, you have to just watch the games and enjoy and drink a beer. And that's where Joe Castello lives, is the drinking a beer and having some Cracker Jacks and looking for babes in the stands and then watching a pitch and enjoying the play and then going back to looking for interesting things in the grandstands. That's my style, and having a beer, which I enjoyed. Estrella Jalisco, the new sponsor of Marlins Park. All right, Lo, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for calling in. Please say congratulations to now officially, in the eyes of the Lord, Miss Lo. Mrs. Lowe.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, that is wonderful.
And, it was nice catching up with you guys. And, so best of luck the rest of the season in fantasy. Best of luck in baseball. And, yeah.
There it is.
I guess just WFO, everybody.
WFO, Lowe, thank you so
Lowe.
much, Lowe. There it is. Wow, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. Lowe's got me worried about the team, man. Like, what's up with that? This guy is coming in, and he's like, all of a sudden, you now with the Andahar and the surgery, and like, I'm feeling like, oh my God. And you're telling me, why we didn't get Machado? We don't have this guy, and we don't have that guy. You're causing panic in Yankeedom.
It's not panic, but I'm all for spending free agent money, man.
No, it's not good leadership.
It is.
There's a reason. First of all, number one, what do you think they're going to have to pay Aaron Judge in a couple years? What is that, 2 years?
Well, he's technically under control. What they're going to do is they're going to give him one of these, like, buy out the salary cap, the arbitration years, and, let's see what happens. But they theoretically don't have to deal with Aaron Judge for a while.
Well,
he'll be arbitration in a couple years, but at that point, it's 5 years before he were to hit free
But
agency.
it does really stink, though, that, the Machado thing was like on the edge, and they didn't because they really like Andahar, and Andahar is now injured. But that's baseball, man.
But
that's
again, I was more interested in signing Harper than Machado, to be fair, and and I'm not going to change my mind because Andujar is injured right now. But this is the thing about baseball and all sports. Somebody has to step up. Maybe now, what's his name?
Wade.
Cliff Frazier, the ginger, comes in and gets his opportunity and shows that why he was thrown in that deal anyway. So,
exactly. Well, also this Tyler Wade, from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm sure he's been on the team up and down in the last couple of years, and while he is very talented, I'm sure he's capable. He's never really shown that. He's never shown it in the majors. So again, a team depending on guys from the minor league system and guys that we have no idea if they can really perform in the show. And that's all I'm saying. Like, there's no reason why this team, if money should be an issue over anything. And that's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, they got a reason, man. They got a reason. The whole everything. There's a
I'm
reason.
sorry. You know what? Ticket prices at Yankee Stadium are way too expensive for anybody from that team ever to come out and say, "Oh, we're trying to get under this tax and spending."
Yeah, but
that
they
kind
save
of stuff.
themselves a lot of money. You just don't know what the future holds.
It doesn't matter.
No, it matters. It matters. It matters. The number of the luxury tax was ridiculous. They had to get under it. They had to. They had to.
All right.
They had to. It was compounding. They had to, and now they are freed up, and they can go on the run again. They can start spending again.
You know what? You believe that crap.
I
but
do.
I don't believe that crap.
I do.
All right? I don't. The Yankees are not like the rest of the teams. They're just not. They own their own TV network is all you need to know.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
All right. Again, yes, not enough, but
it's a thing. All right, any final thoughts?
Oh, gosh.
Any
no,
final
we got
thoughts?
everything. We covered NASCAR. Rich picked the winner. F1 was depressing. Hamilton shows that he's the best driver out there.
Yes.
SportsCollision. March Madness opening day. NBA season's coming to an end. The end of D. Wade's illustrious great career.
He said that he could play 2 more years, but he's not going to. He said he could play 2 more years, but he is,
that he's walking out on his own terms. That's the way these guys like to do it. It's better to go out a year early than a year or two too late.
Exactly. Here we go. For the first time since the luxury tax penalty first took effect in 2003, the Yankees will fall below its threshold. This is a story.
That story's old.
From
last
6.
year.
Well, it's from 6 months ago.
Okay.
So this is this year. This is from 6 months ago, right?
What is it, October 2018?
It would be really good if they put a date on the story instead of 6 months ago.
All right, well, 6 months ago is roughly October.
Yeah, but I don't think it is. Okay. When the 2018 season began, the Yankees held a collective $178.8 million on the books.
So last year they were under the cap in 2018.
Fast forward 6 months because of upgrades, payroll jumped to $192.1 million.
It's still under the cap.
Even if you count CeCe's $500,000 for pitching 155 innings, he currently is at 139.2. Neil Walker's $150,000 bonus for reaching 425 plate appearances. He has 365.
So this was all before last season ended.
Though the 2017 Yankees fell one game shy of reaching the World Series, it has seemed at times that not incurring the luxury tax was just as important, if not more so, than making a return to the ALCS. While this is super frustrating to fans, especially those that want the club to spend, like George M. Steinbrenner is still running the show, this is the economic state of the game in which we live in. The supposed plan all along was to avoid the tax threshold this year, dropping the penalty from 50% down to 20% over the next season's limit of $206 million. This will allow big market clubs like the Yankees and Dodgers, $194.5 million, to spend lavishly this winter. Yeah, but they didn't.
But they didn't. Exactly. So they sold us a bill of goods that the reason to get under the cap was to go after big-name free agents this winter.
There's more.
And
Let me keep reading. This is a story by its analysis from Yankees person Mike Calandrillo. Just want to tie this loose end together. Whether or not you believe the Bombers are still in need of adding another $300 million player, Giancarlo Stanton is the other, the ability to do so is now available even after the emergence of rookies like Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar, who is now injured and may be out for the season, says Gio. I've often said the outcome of this season will drive the upcoming free agent spending spree, although pitching should be the Yankees' number one priority. Resigning Happ, this Kuchel you're talking about, the rest of the available crop does little to inspire confidence. The two teams that could wrangle their spending are the Red Sox and the Nationals. Red Sox, $238 million. My goodness.
They didn't spend either. No one spent money. I mean, a couple of teams ended up with... Well, that's the thing. The fallacy is that they gave two guys huge contracts, and then everybody else got shortchanged, and so... The news covers the $300 million deal, the big shiny object. And the reality is that these teams are colluding to keep the salaries down again. Now, I'm not going to get into whether, anybody should be making $30 million or $10 million or whatever they make. But the reality is that people go watch these guys play. And as long as people are willing to pay to watch them play, they should get whatever the market rate is. There's no reason why, if people are paying X amount of money, that somebody gets to keep disproportionate amount of the money. The guys playing on the field should be getting the money, and that's it. And so until they come out with a different system, yes, $30 million is an absorbent amount of money, but nobody complains when Tom Cruise gets $20 or $30 million for making a movie.
People complain, but he gets it anyway.
And everybody still pays $15 and goes to the movie and says, this movie sucked, but... It is what it is. It's entertainment.
What are you talking about, Tom Cruise? Now?
Look, the bottom line is that they sold us this, that they were getting under the luxury tax so that they could sign big-name free agents. They did some nice stuff and got some bargains this offseason. But again, why not then and I agree. I think that these 10 years, $300 million contracts, they can hurt teams that can't afford them. Again, the Yankees are different. And number one, why not offer somebody then, you want to change the market. 2 years, $80 million.
$40 million.
You want
a year.
$30 million a year for the next 10 years. I'm going to pay you $80 million over the next 2 years. Short, but just,
Come on, baby. Come play with the... Right. I get it.
You know what I mean? You
want to...
I
get it.
Think outside the box.
Right.
I don't own the Yankees, but the team that I root for has more money than all the other teams. Use it. Come on. I'm tired of hearing our general manager, Cash Man, going out there and singing a song and a dance and tiptoeing around how we're going to be spending smartly.
I can't disagree with that, and I'm all for spending too. So I'm not going against it, but I just don't. You don't sound confident, man. You don't sound confident. Let's just see how it plays out.
It's early in the year, and I like
did everything
the team.
They did for a reason, and we know that Hal is a bean counter, and he counts the beans, and that's part of his DNA. He likes making lists and counting beans.
He's an accountant.
He's an accountant, and so this is the reality that we're in, and maybe it will come back to bite us, and we do not know. Incidentally, the next story on that same blog. Aaron Boone's late game bullpen decision backfires in first loss of the season. And Mac Josephson goes into detail of why Boone blew it. So I didn't read the whole story, but I mean,
because when the analytics say to bring this guy, it's okay to bring this guy in, and you see, who is it? I don't know, Jonathan Holder or somebody coming in.
That's it. Well, that's it. The Yankees' offense struggled throughout the game, but it was Aaron Boone's late game decision to have Jonathan Holder pitch a second inning that backfired on him and probably proved to be the difference in the game. So I'm telling you, this guy's got a short leash. And if it gets hot on Hal, like this conversation that we're talking about, like why didn't you guys get somebody? And oh my God, it's all going wrong. Boone is going to be gone. Be ready. By the way, how about Lowe asking about the bench coach and something that I'm divorced from, right? Because guess what, man? We used to have a wealth of experience and talent.
There's something about that.
There's something about that. I'm telling you, I'm going back to the Girardi mistake. Big mistake getting rid of your most experienced manager at one World Series and got you to the ALCS. Huge error. It's all collapsing around the Yankees, folks. It's all collapsing.
And we're only 3 games in. Well, 4. We're 2-2. They won today. By the way, they won today, folks. And they are now 2-2, 500 after 4 games.
All right, one more thing.
Can you imagine what's going to happen around here if they actually have a bad year?
If they were to tank. Well, you can't, though. You can't lose. That's the thing. You cannot lose. And this is what it's like to be a New York Yankee fan, folks. Sometimes it's, most of the time it's great. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's very tough. Saw Captain Marvel. There's one for you to get outside the box of the sports, to bring the sports collision to a merciful end for those people. There are people that don't care about sports, like Bobby Graham and those guys are like, man, I don't care about any of this.
That sucks.
Yeah. That's like 3 sound effects with the word sucks.
What the f*** are we doing here?
He's got the dirty file up. Saw Captain Marvel. Thought it was good. Simple as that. Really don't understand why they didn't just call her to begin with. That's my only thing. Like, if we're talking Marvel Universe, I got to get Hawkenstuff in here for Talking Stuff with Hawkenstuff to ask him, okay, so some super powerful dude is coming to end the world and kill everybody. Yeah.
Well, I think she's in the next movie, is from what I understand.
Well, she is, but why didn't they call her already? Like, you don't wait until your house is in rubble on the ground to call the fire department. You call the fire department when fire breaks out. And apparently this person is extremely powerful superhero. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but extremely powerful superhero, like the most powerful superhero you're ever going to see. Like, more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And
very interesting.
Would have been very helpful in the middle of the last movie. That's all I'm saying. And what? You got her? You got a pager? You can pay? You just call her? Yeah, call me. It's got to be an emergency. Okay.
Well, it was at the end of the last movie when everybody dies.
Right. Well, why? And he calls her right at the end of the last movie.
Oh, really? I didn't even remember that part.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. As he's dying, he signals. Well, maybe you should have done that an hour ago. Or a day ago. Yeah, this dude, Thanos, is trying to get all these things. He's trying to kill everybody. Oh, really? Let me call this person.
Yeah?
No. No, we're going to wait till everybody is dead. And then we're going to call. You got to explain stuff like that to me. I believe in suspension of disbelief, but only so much. All right, everybody. I think this was fun. I don't know. But whatever. We do the shows, man. We do the shows. Low. He totally submarined the whole show. I had this great breakdown of Formula One external gas temperature analysis that I was going to get into, but we'll have to wait for the future. And he smack-talked us on the Yankees and a couple of things.
Hey,
all right.
His team won the series. He can talk all year long.
That's what baseball's about. Baseball is America. And I love football, and I love basketball, and I enjoy other sports, and I have a good time wherever I go, whatever I do. But
his team's not going to repeat.
Baseball is America. What do you mean? You say that, but I don't know. They might.
I mean, they can.
Are you ready for that?
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Are you ready for that?
But no one's repeated since the 98, 99, 2000 champions, and it's very difficult to do. And that is the reason why no one's repeated in 20 seasons.
Yeah. Baseball's back underway, folks. Good stuff. All right, everybody. If you're going to Las Vegas, first of all, on NHRA Nitro, we got Clay Milliken, Tommy Johnson Jr., Jake Sundstrom going to explain the NHRA Power Rankings, and Marvin Rodak. You're not going to want to miss that in addition to Alan Reinhart. Plus, I'm headed to Vegas. If you're going to be in Vegas, hit me up on Twitter at WFO Joe, and we'll do Vegas stuff. I am planning to go to the Pepper Mill in the morning of one day, like maybe Friday morning. Do early morning breakfast at the Pepper Mill. That was real good last time. That's going to do it. We'll see you next time right here on WFO Radio.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Bye, bye, bye.